Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. And this is another Lord of the Rings update, but for LOTRO as well. You know, it might have remembered I made a comment about Amazon is making a new Lord of the Rings MMO, which would be out in several years, mind you. Don't think this is something that will be happening quickly. That's at least 3 or 4 years away, and that's a small estimate. Even if they end up doing it, because you know the first one they did closed, right? So I would just like to point out a few good things. I found this article, Standing Stones Games. Remember I made the one video about, if you want, you can go check it out. They kind of threw a little bit of shade at LOTRO. So here's how I'm going to quickly say what I think they should have done, okay? The CEO of the Amazon games, he should have made it very clear that we love the people who are so hardcore into the Lord of the Rings Online MMO when he's asked about it. And, you know, we're hoping that this will be another game that they can come and try out and also like. That would have been a much better approach to take. He kind of made it like, well, they'll just move over, which is not how it works with video games, right? We all know that, right? We've all seen games that don't move over. And somebody who did a fantastic little short video on this and has a channel that he covers MMOs on, and I can see he's a man of class. He likes Lord of the Rings Online as well. I will link it for you. I'm not going to play it because I want him to get the view, but this video right here by Josh Strife, all right, his channel, I will link it for you. It's a real short video if you want to watch it after this one. But he says some really good things. I will take one thing that he made a comment about is the there's a certain term that basically let me grab it for you. All right, the term is sunk cost fallacy. All right, this is something that goes into a lot of stuff. All right, so the term is basically someone committed so much time and effort into something that they don't want to stop doing it. Now, one thing that I would add to that is, and I'm sure he would agree with me, right, from his channel, is that there's more than that with LOTRO. Look, it's not just, oh, well, we sunk so much time into it, we don't want to stop. It's also the fact that it is a community, right? We love it. They're true to Tolkien. There's a lot more things besides that term, but I really thought that was a very clever thing that he pointed out, because that is the case with a lot of older games. The nostalgia, too, of games, right? It also kind of fits into that sunk cost fallacy thing. You have so much time, your community's there, you put so much time into it, that if another willy-nilly game company comes along and says, oh, we have a better game, you should try it. Unless that game is really put the work in, and something we could dip our toe in to kind of go, oh, yeah, this is kind of cool, right? Another Lord of the Rings game. Most people aren't going to move. This is the case with a lot of MMOs and a lot of different games over the last few years. You'll see a second one came out and it just died, and the first one was still going, right? He mentions a couple which were good examples. But again, we're going to go through this article real quick and talk about it. I'll link his video down there and this article. And I want to just say, too, guys, I would be totally down for Amazon to make another game that's great. But another thing, not only did he kind of throw shade at the LOTRO community, which is kind of the hardcore Lord of the Rings gamers, besides maybe like, you know, modders or also Battle for Middle-earth or some of the other console games, the old Lord of the Rings console games. We're all in that boat of the hardcore nerds. Even if you're not a big MMO player, I understand MMOs are a niche game and LOTRO is an older game, even though it's fantastic. Also, for the LOTRO people out there who love LOTRO and are worried that this new Amazon game might make it crash, never fear, my friends, never fear, because Standing Stones has made it very clear that they're not going anywhere. So they also had the same feeling we did when we heard that he said this, okay? They had that same, like, wait, what? Like, that's not very respectful to us, right? Because, again, no one's saying they can't make a new game. That's fine. Totally good with that. What I'm trying to point out with this video right now is the fact that they were really insulting the Standing Stones and all of the Lord of the Rings Online community, kind of making it sound like, it's an old game and they'll just move over to ours and stuff. And like, he should have been trying to get in on our good side, right? Been like, we're not going to touch Lord of the Rings Online, which he didn't say they're going after it, but he made it sound like that, oh, that game will just die and everyone will come to our game. That's not a good way of doing it. The CEO of Amazon should have been like the CEO of the game part. They have lots of different like sectors of their company. It's so big. He should have said, I'm hoping that some of those players will check out our game, and I really respect them game and what, Standing Stones is doing over there and all that kind of stuff, and they have a steady player base, and that's really awesome. And You know, maybe he could even said something if he was really going to throw some compliments, you know, oh, we'll try to learn from them. Would have been good if they learned for New World, you know, for New World. But New World's still a good game. I'm not trying to throw shade back. It's a fun game, but it had a lot of problems. A lot, right? New engine doesn't always equal better, okay, in gaming. We all know that as gamers, okay? Like, some games are just really good, even if they're old, right? So, anyway, let's look through this real quick. So, Standing Stones Games, which is the company that out controls LOTRO, right? Lord of the Rings Online, reassures LOTRO fans concerned over Amazon's new MMO. The Lord of the Rings Online is sticking around. That's basically what they said here. I could read some of this for you right here. The week Amazon Games announced that it is taking a second crack at making a new MMO, Lord of the Rings Online IP. And I'm thinking, I heard someone say they don't want to make it after the Rings of Power. Someone, I forget who said that, so I don't have the quote or thing to tell you that. But one other thing I agreed with Josh over here when I watched his video today is, oh, stupid ads, go away. Is that he was saying that, they probably are going to make it after Rings of Power, right? The TV show. And I was thinking that I would agree with him because that makes sense. Like, that's what I was originally thinking too when I heard this new announcement. So it was weird to me when I heard they were like, oh, no, we're going to try to do our own, like, third age Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, how do they have the rights to that? I thought they only had the rights to, like, the second age appendices stuff from the Lord of the Rings books in The Hobbit. But again, his comment too, the CEO of Amazon made the comment, and if you watched my previous video, that they are not going to stay faithful to J.R.R. Tolkien's writings so they can focus on the gameplay. He said something like that. So I don't think he understands, the CEO of Amazon, without sounding insulting to Amazon or him, how like an oxymoron that is, because you can't have a Lord of the Rings MMO without the lore from Tolkien. Otherwise, you're just gonna make a fantasy MMO, right? Because Tolkien is the father of fantasy. There's a lot of things out there that you could say kind of resemble Lord of the Rings, right? With lots of different genres, but they're not, because they gotta be based in the world. Like, are they just gonna slap on names of regions and then just play inside those regions for a game? It's not really the Lord of the Rings feel then, right? So let's read the rest of this. The Lord of the Rings Online community has wondered what this might mean for the game's future. Yes, we have. I thought that too until I studied a little more. This hasn't gone unnoticed by any of the parties involved. The new deal between Amazon and Embracer Group's Middle-earth Enterprises was announced back on Monday with work, so this like a week or two ago from when I made this video. With work on the project being undertaken at Amazon Games Orange County Studios, blah, 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 where they do New World, the MMO, okay? Now, little is known about the what direction Amazon's new Lord of the Rings MMO will take. Again, they're not going to be able to be the Lord of the Rings Online, because that's already taken, so they're going to have to they'll probably use the Lord of the Rings MMO or something. I don't know. I don't know how they'll do that legally with the name. Who knows? That doesn't matter. Again, my biggest worry, okay, guys, my biggest worry is, and this is something hopefully me and the other LOTRO YouTubers out there, I know there's a lot of you great ones out there, a lot of that I admire too, that have been LOTRO YouTubers for a long time, or Tolkien YouTubers in general, all my friends here that I know, some I don't know, some I'd love to know everybody. I'll meet everybody sooner or later. We have to make sure we have people realize that the Lord of the Rings Online is already a game that's out there. Because one thing I worry about is, and this is a small worry, because it really won't affect our community, but people going, oh, that Lord of the Rings MMO flopped from Amazon, right? And then a lot of those people who maybe heard about it, because one thing Amazon can do is advertise. That's something they're really good at, which Standing Stones, I'm always rooting for you guys, but please advertise more. If you need help, I will help for free. I do it all the time. But I'm worried that people will then think about Lord of the Rings MMO or Lord of the Rings Online MMO, just hear those terms and go, oh, that was the Amazon game that flopped, right? And people are going to go, and then it's going to be like, no, we're going to be like, no, Lord of the Rings Online has been around for, at that point, it would be like, 18 years or something, or longer, right? It's like, it's a great game, it's still going, support it, come play it. But that's the only thing that I can really worry about, and really that's not that huge of a worry for us, guys, so just don't freak, okay? Yeah, anyway, the new deal between Amazon and Embracer Group's Middle-earth. Let's go through this. Amazon Little is known about the director, but Standing Stones has reassured its community, that's our people who do Lord of the Rings Online, which just marks the 16-year anniversary. It's not going anywhere. All right. So, and remember, Lord of the Rings Online is growing right now, right? It's growing. They grew their team. They got more people hired. They're doing more. They're doing a lot of updates. They're really focusing on it. They've got more players than we did in the last 3 or 4 years. It's really growing, and it's got a steady base. So I really don't think my friends out there who watch the channel or anyone who plays Lord of the Rings Online should be worrying about this. Just enjoy yourself. Every game will go through a time where it will die. That's just inevitable. Every video game ever, right? But the bottom line is, I don't think Lord of the Rings Online, the game we love, I think we have at least another 5 years. All right, that's my estimate. That's like a low ball in my opinion. Because again, as technology improves, even though it's an old engine, with new technology, we'll be able to do new things. So even if we have an old system and an old engine, we may be able to start updating different things when technology improves in the next few years, right? With gaming. So that's something people don't think about, right? People are like, well, it won't be able to keep up. It's an old engine. Well, guys, guess what? Technology is really good at taking old stuff that we had and then like amplifying on it, right? This is just like with programming. We used to program so simply, 20, 30 years ago. And now we're making AI, right? It's a lot of the same processes, just complexly multiplied. Just like in LOTRO, when you see they take the 2D flowers and they start just doing like 40 of them, and then it looks like a beautiful 3D object, right? Same idea. You can make things look better and better and update things. And it doesn't always necessarily mean you just can't do it because it's old, right? Technology is cool like that. Anyway, moving on. That's just a side note there. Wanted to kind of encourage you guys with that. But anyway, so Standing Stone says they're not going anywhere in an official post. Is this the official post? Aha! This is the official post. We'll read the official post. Okay. In the official post entitled A Note from Middle-earth Enterprises and Standing Stones to the LOTRO community. By the way, Middle-earth Enterprises did serve as a dose of reassurance. Middle-earth Enterprises, if you notice over here, the Embracer group Middle-earth Enterprises was the one that announced the Amazon rights. So that means that the mother company that giving Amazon the rights to their game also is reassuring us that they're keeping the rights to LOTRO and Standing Stone's company, right? So we're not gonna see like a little underhanded deal where, Amazon's like, we don't want that competition. And then, the mother company's like, okay, take away the rights to Standing Stones. I don't think that's happening. I think Middle-earth Enterprises understands that it's better to not do things like that and have everyone have the rights to try things, right? They know LOTRO's working, so they're letting Standing Stones keep their rights, and they're going to put up the rights to Amazon to allow them to try, which again, I'm rooting for Amazon. Make a good game, but maybe be a little bit more polite to the rest of the Lord of the Rings Online community, all right? It's just a nice suggestion. During the past few days, we've announced a number of notes from excited, concerned community members about a new MMO. Is that this? Yes, that is that. So we'll just read it big here. Some folks have asked that what this means for LOTRO. We wanted to give everyone in the community an update and assure you all that LOTRO is not going away. Like you, we and our partners at Middle-earth Enterprises are huge fans of LOTRO. So again, the mother company, who's tied in with Embracer, right, and giving the rights to Amazon, is saying that they like LOTRO. Okay, so this is good. They have friends. We have friends in high places. That's what this is saying. It is beloved. It is 16. It is evergreen. LOTRO is like the long-lived Ents, elves and dwarves, and we, mere mortals, are stewards of LOTRO and its community. Standing Stones has every intention of growing and supporting this community. The road goes ever on. What a freaking fantastic quote by by the Lord of the Rings Online. All right. Standing Stone's coming. Good for them. Previously, let's read a little bit more here. Previously, Amazon had a deal with Lenyu. I don't know what group that is. I don't remember. It's another mother company probably, which is bought by Tencent, which I know is a gaming company over in, I forget where they're from. Is it Korea? China? Japan? I think it's one of those places. I don't think that's a U.S. company, but I think it might be based here too, though. So I don't know. Those big companies are so hard to keep track of. I don't do that, okay? That's not my job here. And was working on a Lord of the Rings MMO RPG before canceling this project in 2021. The project was canceled for reasons that included right issues and possible tensions with Tencent. Tensions with Tencent. Seems kind of like just they're close words. When the new Amazon Games Middle Earth Enterprises partnership and new MMORPG was announced this week, Amazon Games VP Christopher Hartman, who is the guy who didn't really say things very politely about LOTRO. He wasn't necessarily like attacking or super negative. I want to be fair to him, but it just, you can watch my other video about throwing shade. It was just, told blah blah on LOTRO. First of all, here's one of the things he said. I have a lot of respect for them to keep it going that long. Okay, that's nice. That first sentence, great. That was really nice. And then they have a not huge, but a very dedicated fan base. I mean, and again, this statement, I would agree with this. It's not huge. We're not at a level of like, World of Warcraft, right? In amount of people playing. But again, we're not a small game. LOTRO is not a small game. We're in the thousands and thousands and thousands, okay? So I don't even actually know what like the normal amount of players is on LOTRO, but I know it's up there when you add all the servers together, okay? But looking just at technology, where we're at now, and remember, I told you positive about technology a few minutes ago, but moving on. And where we will be in a couple years, this is him talking. It's just worlds apart. It's a little extravagant. If I say it's going to be like black and white color to movies, so he's comparing like black and white movies to color. But that's the approach I would want to take. And I disagree. I think that's way blown out of proportion. But that's the approach I want to take. It's just a completely different world. And he said other stuff too, if you go watch my other video, which I already mentioned. So, he just didn't really say it very great. It just wasn't very good. And again, I'm not gonna defend him. I'm gonna say he said it wrong, and he probably should come out with a statement and be like, you know what, I was insensitive. I know the Lord of the Rings online community is a really great community, and I don't want to ever attack your guys' game. I hope you guys will try our game out when we make it. Boom. There's where you go, Amazon. That's how you make your image better right there. So look at me. I'm even giving advice to them. Like, look, I think that's pretty nice. All right, my friends, have a great day in Middle Earth. Again, I will link you the note. I will link you this, and I will also link you Josh's video if you want to watch it after, because he agreed with me on a few of these things, and I agree with him on what he said. And again, he's a man of class. He likes LOTRO. So yeah, have a great day in Middle Earth, and I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. Baruch Kuzan, I menu, and I plan on learning more Dwarven. That was random. Yeah, well, you'll have to know about that more in the future. See you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.